Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Danny and Dixie here with our Women in Business episode that we bring to you guys every week. Super excited for you guys to be here. We're actually going to be talking to you, helping you figure out how you can work your business in just 1 hour a day. This is something that is like the golden nugget to being successful in business when you have a busy lifestyle. So if you guys caught my live yesterday, I talked about planning the time, having intentional time, and actually working the time. But what Danny and I are going to talk to you about is what we train our specific teams on, and it's building your business through a power hour. So the biggest thing is you go watch the live from yesterday where I talk about planning intentional and working the time. But if you don't know what you're going to work in that 1 hour, you're not going to be effective. You're not going to be efficient. You are seriously going to be scrolling Facebook. Trust me, because when I go into my power hour, before we had this that we have created for our teams, we were scatterbrained. Oh, what do we do? What's the most important? What's going to bring in, not necessarily the income right there, right that second, right, Danny? But it's more like what is going to help create that income and that cash flow to happen. Scrolling Facebook is not going to happen. So, Danny, real quick, I would just like for you to kind of explain like the importance of why you decided to incorporate this into your business. Because obviously when we first started, it was like, let's do it all. Let's work Facebook. Let's work Instagram. Let's go, we had all this stuff. So let's explain to them the importance of having a power hour. And then we could probably just throw back and forth some ideas because activities are going to be different based on what type of business you have.
Yeah. So like Dixie said, and I think this might be like very, very common for most of us, if not every one of us, is we have this like belief, this false belief that we have to spend like all day if we want to have a successful business. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Like we can have huge successful businesses really with just an hour a day. And I'm totally wanting to sign up for that, right? When I first signed up, I thought I had to do everything all the time and always be checking my phone. And I feel like my family suffered because of that. And I quickly got burnt out. And I see that happen time and time again with people who start and they are excited and they have big goals and big dreams and they want to get it all done like right then. But really, if you just spend, like, you can get way more done in just that 1 hour of really focused, intentional time. Instead of spending all day long, you get way less done. You get stuck in the scroll. If you just have these, like this list of things to do, like Dixie and I have created for our team, you'll get way more done in way less time. And I'm all about maximizing our time so that we can spend it with the people who are most important to us, right? Like our family and friends. So, Dixie, back to you.
Yes. So you guys have to understand, like Danny said, the absolute importance of it. Because if you don't have your mind wrapped around why you're doing it, you're going to sit down, you may have a list, and you're just like, yeah, that's really not important. Oh, that's really not going to help me. So there's a lot of things you can do to help grow your business. Danny and I build 100% online. So, of course, coming live is a great way to build a business. There's all these different things. We can come live. We can post pictures about our family. We can go love on people's stuff on social media. We can go into other groups and see what other people are up to. And I mean, the list goes on and on as to what you can do in your business, but you have to really find in and hone in to like the very most important ones. So, I mean, over trial and error, Danny and I working through this, trying to figure out what are the top priorities. That's how we created a power hour. Now, in other businesses, it might be a little bit different. Obviously, Danny and I, first and foremost, we help women create extra cash flow. We help them create financial abundance in their life. And we help them do this by creating health within their bodies and helping other people. So our IPAs are related specifically to what we do. So like, for an example, we offer products to people to help them with their health goals, whether it's anti-aging, whether it's weight loss, whether it's a mom trying to find something that will not be harsh on her baby's skin. We have found, through offering services, obviously it is up to us to be working with these clients to get them the best products that they need for their goals. So, as we post on social media, we do all this stuff. These are little parts of our business, but one of our biggest income producing activities that a lot of people tend to forget to do is one of them is a follow-up. We make sure that every single day we have a set amount of people we're going to follow up with. And, Danny, I want you to explain a little bit more about this, why we create two sets of numbers. So like in our power hour, we have a set amount of people that and you can adjust it. We kind of give like a ballpark for our team. Like we say, follow up with at least 10 potentials that were interested in our products or business. But like if you're working the business more, full time, I raise my number some days, but Danny's going to talk to you guys about what we call like our bare minimum, our non-negotiables, because sometimes life is busier than others and we're not always going to be glued to our phone. Sometimes we might be on vacation, maybe we might be traveling, but we have also created a non-negotiable with numbers that are a little bit lower than like our maximum effort so that we are consistent in the business. So Danny, if you just want to talk a little bit about why people should create kind of like a par or like, like a sliding scale when it comes to creating like measurable numbers, like with follow-ups, how we drop lower on days that we can't put all of our time into versus days that we can work the business full time.
Yeah. So, I mean, just with everything, like everybody's motivation, kind of just goes up and down, right? It just depends on the day and how we're feeling. Like, let's just be honest. And some days we're going to have a lot more time than other days. So it's great to set like a goal for every single day to get done. But then also just have a non-negotiable. Like sometimes everything just tends to go wrong in your day, right? Like I feel like I'm having one of those days today. But you know what? I still have my non-negotiables. Like no matter what, this and this and this needs to be done. Like follow up with, X amount of people, whatever your non-negotiable is, because you want to be consistent every day. That is really the key to success, is being consistent every single day, just putting in some sort of effort. So if you just decide to skip a day and you're like, oh, I'll just do like, extra tomorrow, but then what if something happens tomorrow and you can't get to it? You always make sure that you want to do, your bare minimum, your non-negotiables, like Dixie said, and make sure that you're at least hitting those. And then on your better days, when you have more time, you can do a lot more than that. And that is awesome, but everyone is going to have different things that they can finish depending on the day. So I like to have that kind of leniency so that you don't get discouraged if you can't get to your number one goal every single day, because it might be a harder goal, and that's okay. And sometimes you're not going to get to it, but at least you do your non-negotiables.
Yeah. So, and then also something else that helps you with having the power hour is really creating the balance in life and in everything else. Because when you have a power hour, you can decide what hour of the day you're going to work it based around what your schedule looks like. Like Danny today, she was running around crazy busy all morning. Me, I'm going to be running around busy crazy all afternoon. So we had found this is what time we will do our power hour. And then we have a set list of criteria of the things that we're going to do. What's also something great that you guys can do after you finish your hour. So I like to explain it this way, and you may have already went over this a little bit, Danny, is your power hour needs to be very intentional, and it needs to be focused and driven, and you need to make sure that you're not scrolling Facebook. You're not doing all these extra distractions. Like your power hour is 1 hour. You sit down and you're very intentional on all of your activities. So whether it is, reaching out to people that needs the product, whether it's, asking people if they're open to looking at your products or looking at your business. Maybe, one of your IPAs is adding people to your network. This is a big one that many people fail to think about adding. And I think it's a really good income producing activity, because when you're building on social media, if the same people over and over are the only ones seeing what you have to offer, it defeats the purpose. You want to expand that network. But what happens is you have to make sure when you create this list, that's all you do. You're not doing everything else. You're not running around distracted, because you're not going to be able to build your business that way. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you have ever heard that you could build your business in the nooks and crannies of your life, That's a false. That's false. That's a lie, because the way it works is you can do all of the other time consumable activities in the nooks and crannies of your life, which is, going into different groups and commenting on people's stuff, and creating your posts or scheduling the lives that you're going to do. But you really absolutely, like, I believe this, Danny, tell me if you're 100% with me, which you probably are, is you really have to make sure that you have at least a fully dedicated hour to do the things that are going to help grow your business. Because if I'm trying to cook dinner and I'm trying to follow up with people and I'm trying to add people to my network and I'm trying to do all my income producing activities, I'm scatterbrained. You're not going to put in good quality work and you're not going to get good quality results back. So it's super important that you do that. But it doesn't have to be super expansive either, you guys. Like 1 hour a day. Who does not have 1 hour a day? Maybe you can't sit down for a full hour. Maybe it's 30 minutes in the morning and maybe it's 30 minutes in the afternoon. Like, you can find the way to make it work. And this is a little bit off topic of the 1 hour a day. And then Danny, I'll give it back to you, is not only do you need to have a power hour, but I would also suggest to make a list of all the other things that you could do to help grow your business and prioritize them. Which ones do you need to let go of? Which ones can you have somebody else do for you? You guys, our mentor, John Milton, tells us all the time, if you can outsource it, right? I outsourced my grocery shopping. I don't shop anymore. I do it online and they deliver it to me, right? Because I don't want to spend my hours doing that. But create a list of everything that you feel is fruitful for the business. And this is how you can find your IPAs, and just label them, which ones are most important. And then you can go through and decide, okay, these ones are my IPAs. These are ones that I need to outsource to somebody else. These ones are okay to do weekly. I don't need to do them every single day. And maybe these ones are good to do monthly. And that's kind of what we did. And that's how our team really excels at doing this, especially with being busy, whether working full time or moms. I mean, I'm a mom and I'm like, oh my goodness, But, so we've done this. You guys can't really see it too well because of the screen, but we have non-power activities is what it says. And these talk about things that you can do weekly. We also have a tracker of how they have done throughout the week where they can keep track of it. And then things that they should do monthly too. So really, if you don't know what your IPAs are, write down everything you're doing for the business right now. Write them all down. Label them in numerical order. Number one's the most important. After you label them all with numbers, I want you to go through and I want you to categorize them. Maybe put a note for outsourcing. This is something that can outsource. Get your teenager. My teenager pulls all of my quotes for Instagram. Super easy, right? So, O for outsource, W for weekly, M for monthly, and maybe things that don't really even do any good, maybe you just get rid of them, So I'm going to leave it at that, Danny. If you have anything else that you want to talk about in regards to how to work your business in 1 hour a day, I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, so the reason you guys were so passionate about this power hour, we've mentioned it quite a few times before. We've tried to go live about it before. And you know what? I think the enemy is just against us because he wants you to believe you have to spend all your time and forget your family. But we are so passionate about this because we don't want to have the whole reason a lot of us mamas do a business like this is because we want that time freedom and we want to spend time with our families and we don't want to miss any special moments, right? At least for me. And I know Dixie is the same story, but we don't want people feeling like they have to spend all day in a business that they joined because they wanted time freedom and time with their family. Because we hear this story all the time where people, they just get sucked into the feeling that they have to spend all their time doing this, and then their children suffer, their husbands suffer, and it breaks my heart. So we're so passionate about this because really it's so true. You could imagine this for a second, if you could have a full-time income, right? Whatever you're making, or whatever you want to be making, right? You might not be there right now. A lot of people are struggling, but if you could make a full-time income with just clocking in for an hour every day, feels like a no-brainer to me. I would totally, sign me up for that, right? So that's why we're so passionate about this power hour, because it truly works. You can have a full-time income from just an hour a day.
Yeah, and I'm gonna one more thing. I know I said I was gonna let you close it out, but I was thinking about this. Um, the thing that's amazing about this, you guys, is we teach it to everybody that comes into our business and partners with us. And in fact, we are getting ready to launch our 90 days extra cash. You know, it's Dash for Cash. It's extra cash for Christmas. And everybody that comes into this program with us, they are being trained off of this. We're not sending them 15 videos. We're not sending them a huge packet of everything that they need to learn. This is what they're going to be trained on. 5 main things that we're going to be walking them through. And last I checked, Danny, we were upwards of like 90 something people already in this program. And we just launched it. Was it What's today? Today's Tuesday. Was it Saturday?
I think so.
Yeah, so you guys, and it's because people see the simplicity. You do this consistently over time, compound effect, you are going to start being able to create a business in 1 hour a day. So I'm going to leave it at that. Simplicity at its finest. If you guys are intentional about it, you can make it work. We hope that this was of value to you guys. If it was, hashtag value below. Feel free to tag your entrepreneur friends that are kind of struggling, not sure what to do, how to do it, and they're fed up because they feel like they don't have enough time. Hopefully this will bring some sight to them and they can create their own IPAs. So I'm going to leave it at that. Danny, if you want to say goodbye, we will be out of here and we'll see you guys next Tuesday, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And let me explain, Mountain Standard Time is also mama time. So sometimes we may not be right on the dot because it depends what's going on with their kids, right? So anyways, guys, we love you. Thanks for checking in. Thank you, Danny, so much for being on with me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.